Imagine a region bigger than many countries, yet quieter than a mid-size American city. Sounds almost impossible, right? Welcome to Montana, a place of breathtaking panoramas and open skies, but also a land that feels startlingly empty. Why does so little of America live here, even though it's so vast and beautiful? Is it simply the cold, or the distance from big city comforts? Or are there deeper reasons woven into the land and its history? In this video, we'll walk through the main reasons Montana's population stays small. We'll consider the weather, the distances, the economics, and even the way the state was settled more than a century ago. By the end, you'll understand why Montana is the kind of place people visit to breathe in the wild, but hesitate to call home. Let's begin. Number 1. Winters that test your limits. Montana's winters are not a dramatic anecdote, they're a lifestyle. In some parts of the state, winter is a season that demands prep, patience, and stubbornness. Temperatures can fall to levels that make other Americans flinch, mornings when your breath freezes as soon as it leaves your mouth, when cars need block heaters, and when exposed skin can be in genuine danger if you're not careful. Snowfall isn't just a few inches. In some mountain towns, snow piles up so high it remakes the landscape for months. Roads closed, roofs groaning under the weight, small town life slowed to a crawl. Even cities that look relatively mild on a map can see heavy winters. Blizzards whip visibility down to nearly zero. Winds can slice through layers of clothing and turn a simple trip to the store into a tactical expedition. All of that translates into daily friction, heating bills that climb through the roof, driveways that require constant shoveling or a dependable snow plow, vehicles that need winter tires and extra care, and days cut short by power outages or iced roads. For someone used to year-round mildness or predictable seasons, Montana winter weather is a full-time commitment. It's beautiful in postcards, terrifying in practice, and for many people the practical downside outweighs the romance. Number 2. Distances that feel personal. Montana is enormous. Imagine cramming acres upon acres of wide open land into a single state, and then realizing only a handful of people live in each of those acres. The result: long drives, long waits, long stretches of road with nothing but sky and grass. If you live in a remote valley or a ranch town, a trip to the grocery store or the nearest hospital can mean an hour or more each way. That's not a quaint inconvenience. It affects when you can see a doctor, how you plan for emergencies, and whether kids can participate in after-school activities. Remote communities sometimes lack the routine services people take for granted. Few public transit options, limited taxi or rideshare availability, and, especially in winter, roads that become treacherous or impassable. Isolation also affects social life and economic opportunity. Cultural events, specialized medical care, and certain professional networks are often centered in much larger cities, which means if you want those things, you have to travel. The distance erodes convenience and, over time, shapes choices about whether to stay. Number 3. An economy rooted in natural resources. If you're chasing a career in tech, finance, or entertainment, Montana is not the first place you'd think to move. The state's economy has long relied on sectors tied directly to the land: agriculture, tourism, mining, and timber. Those industries shape the rhythm of local life, but they don't always provide the types of jobs that attract large numbers of young professionals or high earners. Work can be seasonal and location dependent. Tourism booms in summer months and can quiet down in off-seasons. Farming and ranching are capital-intensive and vulnerable to weather swings. Mining towns rose and fell with or prices. That creates an economic landscape where steady, high-paying jobs are less common than in major urban centers. Lower average wages and fewer corporate headquarters mean that many ambitious graduates or career-minded people look elsewhere. If you want a job in a startup, a large bank, or a cutting-edge lab, you'll probably need to leave, at least until companies become comfortable setting up remote or satellite operations in the state. Number 4. A surprisingly high cost in some areas. You might expect that living where everything is spread out would be cheap, but that's not always the case. In towns that are scenic or trendy, especially ones that attract newcomers seeking a lifestyle change, housing prices can surge. When a small town becomes desirable, whether for its proximity to skiing, fishing, or simply its postcard-perfect downtown, demand can outstrip the local supply quickly. That's pushed up home prices in certain communities. Add in rising property taxes, the price of shipping goods across long distances, and the cost of maintaining infrastructure in harsh winters, and the budgetary realities start to bite. For locals who've lived through decades of modest incomes, sudden housing inflation can create an affordability crisis. Meanwhile, rents in sought-after towns can rise faster than local wages, forcing younger residents or service workers to live further away or move out entirely. Number 5. Young people moving away. Communities change when the young leave. Montana has been experiencing a steady exodus of younger adults who go elsewhere for work, education, or simply broader social scenes. Many students leave for college and then find jobs in cities with more options, and they tend not to come back. That brain drain hits communities in multiple ways. Schools lose students, businesses find fewer young workers, and cultural energy shifts away. Aging populations change the kinds of services demanded by a community and strain healthcare systems. It becomes a cycle. Fewer young adults means fewer reasons for companies to invest, which means fewer job opportunities, which encourages even more young people to leave. Number 6. Tough to farm and ranch in places. Montana's open land is both a blessing and a challenge. Much of the state is semi-arid and relies on irrigation. Water is a precious resource with legal and practical complexity. Long droughts and erratic weather patterns make farming marginal in many regions. Equipment is expensive, and transporting goods long distances to market raises costs. Running a profitable farm or ranch often requires scale and investment that small operators struggle to achieve. The landscape itself, mountainous terrain, rocky soil, and variable climate, means that not all land is easily turned into productive agricultural acreage. Those geographic realities keep population density low where agriculture is the mainstay. Number 7. Infrastructure limits. Modern life depends on reliable infrastructure: roads, electricity, water treatment, broadband, and healthcare facilities. Montana's sparse population makes the economics of building and maintaining such systems challenging. Extending high-speed internet across long rural stretches is expensive. The same goes for comprehensive healthcare networks and public transit. That's especially painful for people who want to work remotely, run online businesses, or access telemedicine. While internet expansion projects have accelerated in recent years, patchy service still affects many residents. In addition, healthcare options in rural areas are limited. Hospitals are often far away, and specialists may be scarce. For families, workers, and retirees, these limits can be decisive factors when choosing where to live. Number 8. A settlement pattern that left few cities. To understand why Montana is still so empty, look back to how it was settled. In the 1800s, land policies and economic incentives favored spreading people across land rather than clustering them into dense cities. Homesteading laws encouraged families to claim wide parcels of land. Mining and ranching produced scattershot settlements, small towns that grew around a mine, a rail stop, or a county seat. Unlike regions that industrialized with ports, factories, and rail hubs that later became big metro areas, Montana's settlement pattern didn't produce many large urban centers. Over time, mechanization and shifts in transport meant many small towns dwindled as jobs disappeared. The infrastructure and economic anchors that build big cities never took root to the same degree. The human side. Why some choose to stay. All of this might make Montana sound inhospitable, and for many people it is. But for some, these same conditions are what make the state irresistible. Wide skies mean privacy and space. Rugged mountains and quiet rivers offer unparalleled recreation. If you're seeking solitude, room to breathe, and a life less tethered to the frantic pace of cities, Montana can be paradise. People who remain often love the sense of community in small towns, the closeness to nature, and the slower rhythm of daily life. They know how to prepare for emergencies, how to winterize a home, how to order in bulk and plan trips carefully. For them, the costs, actual and psychological, are balanced by quality of life gains. Trade-offs, what you give up, what you gain. Living in Montana is a trade-off. You gain space, wild places, and a life rhythm shaped by the seasons. You give up the convenience of close-by specialists, the buzz of cultural scenes, and often the highest-paying job opportunities. Some people accept that trade and find it liberating. Others visit for a week and decide to return to city life. A few specifics worth noting. Emergency response times can be long. In an area where a hospital could be an hour or two away, people plan differently, keeping first aid kits at hand and learning to be self-reliant. Education options vary. While state universities offer quality higher education, small towns may lack advanced K-12 resources or extracurricular variety. Services and retail choices are slim in many places. That's not an inconvenience so much as a lifestyle adjustment. If you love choice and late-night shopping, you'll miss it. For remote workers, broadband is improving but remains uneven. Those who can work truly remotely find a path here. Those who require consistent, high-bandwidth connections may still struggle. Myth-busting. Before we wrap up, let's clear up a few assumptions. Montana is empty because no one wants to live outside cities. Not exactly. People live here for many reasons: family, jobs in agriculture or tourism, love of the land. But the structural realities, economy, infrastructure, distances, make dense urban growth unlikely. It's cheap to live in Montana. Only in some places. Popular towns with outdoor amenities can be surprisingly expensive, especially for housing. It's all wilderness and danger. Montana has safe, vibrant communities with cultural life, universities, and small businesses. It's also true that rural living requires more planning and sometimes more risk tolerance. The beauty of contrast. Montana exists at a contrast: enormous land and few people, incredible natural riches and constrained opportunity, breathtaking quiet and practical inconvenience. That combination makes it an alluring destination and a challenging long-term home for many. So can you survive in Montana? Absolutely, but thriving there depends on your priorities and preparation. If you crave solitude and value proximity to wide-open nature, and you can navigate the economic and infrastructural limits, Montana can be a place to build a meaningful life. If you need a dense social network, abundant high-paying jobs, or instant access to specialists and amenities, Montana will probably feel too remote. In the end, Montana's emptiness is not a flaw so much as a defining characteristic. It's a landscape shaped by climate, economy, and history, and that shape suits some people perfectly, while others will always choose to admire it from afar. If you loved this deep dive, hit like and subscribe for more explorations of the places that shape us, from empty plains to bustling cities. Tell us in the comments, would you move to a place like Montana? What would matter most to you, the quiet or the convenience? We'll see you in the next video.